Yo, couple minutes. Getting ready. Getting ready. Y'all see the count down there? I hear a little echo. Just trying to adjust this, make sure everything's right first. Getting ready. Getting ready. Y'all see the count down there? I hear a little echo. Just trying to adjust this, make sure everything's right first. What's going on? Getting ready. We're getting ready to do it. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining me. I'm get ready to get started here shortly. Mobfiles. Thanks for joining me. This is gonna be epic. Just doing my sound check. Yeah, can y'all hear me? Yeah, sound check, baby. Sound check. Yeah, we're gonna get it started. Yeah, the Bills Mafia, we needed a show like this. We needed a show like this. It's gonna get better too. Wait till they see me put these graphics in. I got the lights, I got everything y'all need, everything y'all came for. This we're gonna keep it uncut, we're gonna keep it raw. We're gonna be ourselves, we're gonna be educated, we're gonna be polite. We got a few things to talk about tonight. 10 minutes, let's go. Starting at 10. doing my sound check, making sure I got everything right. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that like button. I've been waiting to say that. It's she. Y'all heard the voice. He got a mic. They can't stop him. He invested. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. This is about to be an epic show today. Show starting soon. We're gonna keep playing that intro, man. I love that song. I love that song. 11 of y'all tuned in. Go ahead and hit that button, like and subscribe. Y'all deserve this. Y'all got these people talking about the Bills who ain't really giving it to y'all uncut. Where we at? We got 7 minutes. It's one. Not in 14. Ain't gonna start in 14. We got 7 minutes. We starting on time. We the former military. We ain't cutting no shorts. We ain't starting early. We ain't starting late. It's gonna be on time. It's gonna be epic. I'm glad y'all here to hear me out. Go ahead and say what's up in the chat so I can know y'all there. We're gonna get it right. 5 minutes. All right, we're about to get started pretty soon. 5-minute warning. Y'all go get something to drink. Go get something to drink. Whatever you need, go get it. Thanks for tuning in. I hate waiting until a show starts. I want to start right now. I want to get to it right now. But we're gonna respect time. I told you at 6:30, so we're gonna get started at 6:30. We ain't starting a minute later. We ain't starting a minute earlier. We're gonna get started. It's the Mobfiles. The Mobfiles is live. Y'all deserve this one. Buffalo deserve, the Bills deserve uncut. We made the investment. YouTube only do 1080p. We would have done 4K. I'm hoping I'm coming through live with y'all. Where we at? We got 3 minutes. Show starting in 3 minutes. Thanks for tuning in. This is my first time. This is the maiden voyage. The maiden voyage, baby. Go ahead and subscribe if you ain't subscribed. If you ain't a member yet, you're going to need this show. If you're a Bills fan, if you want current events, you're going to need this show in your YouTube regular cadence. You're going to need this one because I'm going to get better and better. All right. Okay. 2 minutes. Two minutes. Testing. Mic test 1, 2. All right. We almost there. Yeah. Hey, we there. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in for the Mobfiles. Everybody, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Sheed, gonna get it started for y'all again. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Again, it's the maiden voyage, the first show. I decided to do this. Let me just start off with the conversation and telling y'all why we decided to do this. We decided to create our own show, to invest in our own show, because the Bills fans and the people deserve uncut, unfiltered uh, commentary. There's a void in the mafia. There's a void in the way that people are commentating the Bills. They're not telling the truth. They're not explaining to you guys what's really going on. And I'm gonna attempt to do that in the best way I can do it. So y'all go ahead and like and subscribe. I decided, there was a lot of uneducated opinions, not only on the Bills, but on not current events, things of that nature. We're gonna get better and better. The graphics is gonna get better, and we're here to do it. So I'm about to put up the topics that we're gonna discuss today. There's gonna be a 30-minute show. It's gonna be pretty quick. I don't want to bore y'all. I don't want to, take your attention away from the things you got to do. I know you guys got to get ready for, work tomorrow. Got to get ready for school, whatever you do on your day-to-day lives. So I want to thank you for joining in on the Mob Files and showing us love, because that's what we need. That's definitely what we need right now. All right. Like I say, make sure you subscribe. All right. So what I want to talk about today is a couple items. I want to talk about, how I see the off season and what the off season has been like, and how Brandon Bean and Sean McDermott is making moves out there. A couple things caught my attention. I'm usually not too involved when it comes to the off season. I kind of sit back and let things play out. Really busy life this year. Start new business ventures. Just had a newborn child. Just kind of let football go to the back burner as the off season take place. Specifically, Instagram or X got a little bit intense, so I wanted to take a back step off of that. Arguing with people in spaces. That wasn't what we intended to do. We just really wanted to talk football and to address the team and how they can improve. A lot of people see me as critical or as being, not optimistic, but more pessimistic when it came to the team. But I don't feel like we all can be in an echo chamber in terms of, not necessarily putting our opinion out. So this channel here, the reality of the situation is just that. I want to give you an opportunity to tell me what you think, whether it's put your comments up. We'll have some guests going forward to join the show. Some interesting people that'll keep your attention. We're going to talk Bills football. I'm going to get into politics a little bit. I'm not going to lean too far to the left or to the right. I'm going to just give my opinion, my educated opinion, do some research on those different things in terms of how I see it and how I think things playing out. I'm going to call that segment my opinion, and I'll do that at the end of the show. And just giving you guys a quick assessment of how I feel, these different topics is playing out in the world or in our country today. So again, thanks for tuning in. If you're out there on Instagram or YouTube, subscribe, become a member of the channel. Everything's new. I really haven't operated YouTube like that. So over the last week or so, I've been investing, hooking all this up with the lights, trying to get the scene right. I wanted high quality stuff. I didn't want some low budget production show where you see a bunch of shadows and me dressed in all Bills gear. This is going to be really my opinion, my show, doing it my way. I want it to be authentic. I want the authenticity to be the focus of the show. Uh, it's not going to be like these shows where I see people in Bills gear and just all red and blued out. Sometimes I'm gonna be against the Bills. I mean, that's the way it is, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think all the time. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's entertaining. As I said in the introduction, it's going to get better Right now, it's a nervous moment, it's an anxious moment, it's a learning moment. Right now, you guys see me heavily leaning in on the mic. I don't know, how well my voice is coming through. I'll view it at the end, but it is going to get better. So I'm grateful that y'all here. Thanks for joining, and we gonna get started. So my topic number one, in terms of Kyrie Elam throwing shade, you know, so where can I start there? I would just say, I think I'm rooting for this young man. This is a guy that Brandon Bean drafted in the first round, and he, to me, on the field, he made plays in the beginning. He made got interceptions in the beginning, and I thought, and I still think he could have been a serviceable cornerback for the Buffalo Bills. He could have been someone who they could have relied on to, I don't want to say take away a part of the field, but at least to be reliable. I think what happens is, as I stated before, confidence is everything, whether it's on a basketball field, whether it's on the football field. Once you lose your confidence, your ability tends to fade. And so, if you're a young man coming into a new league, got all this money, you got new friends and everything, and you're doing everything the coaches tell you, and you feel like you're not getting your fair shake or an opportunity. McDermott was like, he got to earn it, and that's true. But at the same time, I find the coach to be hypocritical at times. Other players and his assessment did well enough to play, and Kyer Elam didn't. So, as Kyer said in the article that I read, as he was traded to Dallas, he was put in the back seat. He just worked hard, put his head down, and I thought that's what I seen from him. He was always in the media. I never seen him give a negative comment or anything like that. He's just kind of sat there, did the work, and waited for his opportunity to come. And unfortunately, his time never came with the Bills. And to me, that was the most disheartening thing, because I thought that, he should have been given an opportunity to make multiple mistakes, right? I mean, when you're a professional football player and you stepping up to the next level, you should be given an opportunity to fail and to get back up and to fail again and get back up and fail again. But I, in my personal opinion, I don't feel like the Bills gave him that opportunity. I don't feel like Sean McDermott and the defensive coordinators who left, the new one, they didn't give him that opportunity. Do I feel like Christian Benford should have been benched for Kyrie Irving? No, I think Christian played well. They brought in Rousseau, a veteran from the Green Bay Packers, to play the other cornerback position. I still feel like there was room for Kyrie Elam to compete and to earn an opportunity out there. So moving forward, when you see him giving a slight to the Buffalo Bills as he was traded to Dallas, I don't feel like it was a huge slight. I felt like he told the truth. He said, hey, I didn't get the opportunities that I felt I deserved. I put the work in, right? And so I wish him all the best in Dallas going forward. I hope that he's a serviceable corner. And this is the first time in my adult life that I feel like Kyer Elam, that a player who leaves the Bills, I hope that they do good and that we regret our decision for not giving him an opportunity to play and to fail until he succeed. Other players make mistakes. And yes, the playoff game in Kansas City and some other games that he played was pretty bad in terms of his coverage and his responsibility. He didn't perform when he was called upon. But it's like you can't. It's like basketball. You can't come off the bench cold and expect to shoot at a high percentage. And the same thing with cornerback, right? It's you go in there with nerves. You're an Arrowhead and you're playing against Patrick Mahomes, and you just can't be expected to perform at a high level, even though some of us fans think these guys are robots. These guys are human beings with emotions and certain psychological aspects and traumas in their life. And so I think really the coaching staff and how the Bills treated him really negatively affected his performance. And I really hope Kyer Elam gets an opportunity in Dallas and be a starter, a Pro Bowler, a first team All Pro, and Defensive Player of the Year. Why not, right? I mean, he's a good kid. I really paid attention to his maturation as a person. I wish him the best, and I hope everybody wish him the best in going forward in Dallas. But you guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button if you like the show. Go ahead and get a comment. I'm gonna answer questions if there's any questions. I'm gonna move forward. Now going forward in terms of the cornerback position, Rousseau is there, and they still got Christian Benford. Christian, his contract, it is time to negotiate that. Now, I've been reading a little bit about, how the cornerback market has been reset, and I've tuned into a Bills podcast, and one of the host of the show was saying that, Christian Brentford has been an elite. He used the term elite cornerback, and he deserves to be paid as an elite corner. Few things to say on that. The first thing is the Bills have had a proclivity and a propensity to pay players extremely high for low performance. So I don't want the Bills to make a mistake in terms of paying out a ton of money and not getting a return on the investment that us as fans expect. I personally, and a lot of people ain't gonna like this comment, I don't think you can give Christian Benford elite money. I don't think you can make him, I don't know, a top paid cornerback in this league. I think he's been serviceable. I think he's played well. What we do know is the Bills play a lot of zone defense, and with that zone defense, you know, it's not necessarily, you know, shows specific skills that tells me Christian Benford is the lead. I think he has average speed, average covering ability. You know, these are unpopular opinions, but elite, nah, I wouldn't go that far. Would I like to see him return to Buffalo? Sure. But at a contract that's team friendly, that's relatively market friendly, I don't think we should pay Christian Benford a ton of money to play for this team. That's just my opinion, and that's you know, and that's what I'm going to go with when it comes to Christian Benford. But we got to get that cornerback room fixed. They brought Dame Jackson back. They brought Damar Hamlin. I seen sign another contract in the secondary. I just, you know, a couple things to me. I just feel sometimes this defense get Sean McDermott. He feel like his philosophy is more important than the talent on the field. Um, you know, it's hard to say anything about, you know, Damar Hamlin has based off of what he had to go through, what he came back from, and the things that we've watched him. You know, I will always be a Damar Hamlin fan, but at the same time, I I kind of want to see a different secondary back there. I don't want to really I don't want to see the human torpedo Taylor Rapp and Damar Hamlin. I feel like there was the biggest weakness or one of the biggest weaknesses on the defense. The defense had a lot of holes, and I don't think, you know, signing Damar Hamlin and Dame Jackson, Dame, you know, very average, you know, corner. The Bills got to do something that changes the trajectory. If you look, they've been averaging teams have been averaging 33 points per game in the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills. These are facts. Every time we lose in the playoffs, it's 33 points per game. We never stop an offense, a top tier offense in the playoffs. These are facts. I'm not making this up. I'm not being pessimistic. This is the reality of the situation as told by she. Uh, you know, it's and if you guys saying my picture don't look like me, it's because I lost a lot of weight. So, you know, thanks for joining. You know, like and subscribe. But we got to change the picture. We got to change the philosophy. If that defense get locked in, and I know Bean is trying as hard as I really believe in Brandon Bean, but it's hard to recruit in Buffalo. I get it. Some people saying, well, we got Josh Allen, but you know, people are thinking about when they are trying to secure the future. They're thinking about the money. Am I going to get paid what I'm worth? Is this an environment I want to live in? And I'm from Buffalo, New York, so originally, and to be honest, you know, these modern day players in their 20s, they want to go to a tourist kind of, weather friendly city. And so it's very hard to recruit. And we got to do a better job at recruiting these players to come and play for the Buffalo Bills, specifically on defense. I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Regardless of whether you say, hey, we got an elite quarterback, we got a winning team over the last 7, 8 years. I hear all that, but at the end of the day, these players are trying to secure their future for their family. Also, they're trying to enjoy their life, trying to enjoy the environment that they're put in, and I think it's getting better. The new stadium is going up, and it'll be done in 2026. And I just this defense, and we'll talk about the defensive outlook very soon as we move through the show. Again, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in to the reality of the situation. So moving on in terms of the defensive line, um, I think the Bills watched the Eagles in the Super Bowl and saw what happened, and what the Eagles was able to do to Patrick Mahomes, and see and saw a demonstration of what happens when you can put consistent pressure on the quarterback. When you can put consistent pressure on the quarterback, they saw what happened, and you know, and so they say, hey, we got to revamp this defensive line, right? Because they didn't get consistent pressure throughout the season um, from any particular person. I Rousseau is probably, in my opinion, and this is my show, so this is my opinion. He was the best defensive lineman the Bills had throughout the season. He didn't produce as many sacks or as many pressures or have a season of that people would have wished for. But I think he played well. Epinesa played good at times in spots. I've always had a problem with the defensive rotation. It works for some teams, but those teams also have significant talent on the defensive line, more talent than the Buffalo Bills. So they watched the Philadelphia Eagles, put Patrick Mahomes on the ground consistently and quite often. And they said, hey, we got to get better on the defense line. But that's something that they already knew. They already knew that they got to get better on the defense line. So what they do, they brought in two people, one from the Rams, and Michael Hoyt, and Ogunjobi. And I know I'm butchering names, but again, this is the first maiden voyage show. So, and then I learned that these two players got suspended for the first. Well, we don't know whether it's the first 6 games or when the NFL is going to actually, suspend these players. But right now, it's looking, according to Brandon Beane in his press conference, like it's going to be 6 games for both players. I think. Well, I don't think I was reading an article where Michael said that, he was trusting a trainer for his dietary and supplements and nutritional needs. And, it was explicitly trusting a trainer to make sure that he got the right nutrition. And that's how he ended up with a PED violation and consequently a forthcoming suspension. I thought we wanted, and it's probably this, I thought we wanted smart players. That isn't smart, okay? I used to be a former service member, and you are responsible for what goes in your body. We used to get drug tested all the time. So if you're allowing trainers to, fix your shakes or your protein or whatever it is, you and plus you're worth millions and you're trying to get a new deal, you can't trust somebody to, to not at least check what they're putting into your shakes and whatever you're intaking or what you're digesting into your system. That isn't smart at all. And I hope going forward he learns the lesson. And then Ogunjobi, from what I understand, he doesn't know what happened, and he didn't know until after he signed. Right, he went into Brandon Beane office and informed Bean, and I watched Brandon Bean's press conference, and he said, about time these players sign, then the market, or at least the defensive line pool, had thinned out in terms of free agency, and They got a plan and then things of that nature. I don't know. I kind of sensed a little desperation on the Bills' part with signing players who, are going to be suspended for the first 6 games. Both of them, they knew that Michael was going to get suspended, right? And then Obenjobi, I don't know, it's not setting a good precedent if we're talking about culture, right? But at the same time, if you look at the defensive line, I get it. It wasn't consistent pressure. You got Daquan Jones, you got a rookie, you got Ed Oliver, um, who signed a big contract, had a big year after that, but then in 2024, didn't live up to the expectations that we thought he was extending to be in terms of a Pro Bowl player. You needed to get more consistent on that defensive line. You needed to get better on the defensive line, and I feel like I get it. You gotta, sometimes you gotta take risk in order to get better, and the Bills needed to get better at that specific position and internally in terms of the defensive line. And so going forward, in terms of the defensive line, I think there's still room to be made. We haven't talked about Von Miller being cut. Thank God, right? Like, I don't know if my channel will get popular and then people's like, yo, this guy's just talking mess about everybody. But at the same time, Von Miller, and this is uncut. This is the reality of the situation, and he robbed Buffalo. But he was a perfect citizen. I think he played it great. He was a great locker room guy, a great leader. But at the same time, he knew that his skills after the injury had deteriorated, and he contributed what he can. He tried to come back, and some people, believed he played well. In my opinion, not at the price tag that we were paying Von Miller. You can't play a player at that level for that production. You just can't do it. You gotta move on. You gotta get more production for that kind of money. And so they moved on off of Von Miller, and I'm happy they did. So who do I believe in, or who do we believe in? And when I wrote that specific bullet point there in order to talk about it, I wasn't specifically talking about a person, right? I'm talking about the philosophy, right? The philosophy of, hey, do we believe in this philosophy of Sean McDermott? We saw this defense over the last 5 years. We saw the philosophy. We know what we're going to get. We're going to get mostly zone. You're going to get nickel. Terrence, he's good. He's good. Y'all see me stutter because I didn't want the word "the great" to come out my mouth, because even though he's good, and some would say one of the best nickel corners in the game, I don't believe he's a great nickel corner. I just, the problem with the Bills is, and this happens in the playoffs, is that we have players that, for lack of a better term or phrase or put it, just don't make plays when you need. Here's an old saying that says you need big time players to make big time plays in big time games. And that's what we were missing in that playoff game. Even the offense. And I didn't put the offense down as a topic to talk about. And I'm not going to get too far in terms of talking about the offense. That'll be another show for another time. But we need big players to make big time plays, specifically on defense. You guys remember that number, 33 points per game in the playoffs. How are we going to get over that hump? Okay? That's what I wanted to talk about today. These 4 bullet points that I put down is what I wanted to talk about. And I got through this. And I want to thank you again for joining the show. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Go ahead and like if you haven't liked yet. I'm going to keep running this show, and we're going to keep doing it. And hopefully it grows. Thanks for tuning in. I only wanted to stay on 30 minutes. I'm going to work on making the show better for you guys, making it more uncut for you guys, making the topics better. And this is going to be the best Buffalo Bills analysis show running on YouTube, on X. And I'm going to give my opinion about current events and some politics. And you might not like it. But on the end, I want to end with my opinion. My opinion on what I saw today. in terms of the news, the privatization of the USPS. This is the reality of the situation, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about everything, not just Bills football, sports. I'm going to just keep it 100, and I'm going to try to come from a educated position, right? So most people don't know that the USPS is written into the Constitution, right? And it was 1792 that the United States Constitution state that Congress will provide for a postal service. Well, but what they, but today in the news, they say, hey, Trump wants to privatize the postal service. I think I was just having a conversation that you got to do better with communication. It's not always what you do, but it's how you say it and how you communicate what you are trying to get accomplished, okay? So we know, one, that USPS, the Postal Service, is mandated by the Constitution. It has to be there, right? Okay, so now when you do an analysis on the modern times, right, since it was 1792 when it was written into the Constitution, now we got FedEx, UPS, Amazon, things of this nature, as delivery service that most people would rather use because USPS lose your mail. My neighbors got to come bring me mail, things of this nature. It's when you have a government entity doing a critical service, it's hard to fire people in government roles. So they tend not to be service oriented, customer oriented, right? And so I do think that something has to be, when I'm saying privatization, no, I am not saying that. But what I'm saying, something has to be done with this service that is mandated by the Constitution, right? So also another fact that people may not know about USPS, they've been running deficits for decades. Specifically $6.5 billion deficit in 2023. Every year they lose millions of dollars in terms of running a deficit. And so as something has to be done, I just wanted to provide you guys a couple facts with that. I don't want to get too deep on it. I want you to form your own opinion of what you think the USPS, but I do think that there has to be something done with a government program that is losing significant money over decades, that is not service oriented, that is contributing to the overall deficit. And so with that, thanks for tuning in. It's the Bills Mafia. It's the reality of the situation. I'm going to go ahead and cue the outro. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. We'll talk again. I'm going to probably schedule this every Thursday. And I'll keep the topics going. And if you enjoyed the show, go ahead and subscribe, like, become a member, all that. I'll talk to y'all soon. Enjoy the music. We out.